Hello, band students, and welcome. Oh, sorry. Also, hello, choir students. I'm forgetting that I'm doing this Kahoot for everyone. So today is all going to be about learning to read treble clef notes. If for some reason you play a bass clef instrument, I will do a little bit of bass clef instruction. And if you're in the male section of the choir, I suggest you do the bass clef Kahoot, not the treble clef, okay? I'll go over that in a little bit. But for most of you, reading the treble clef is what you probably will be doing most of your lives, okay? And if you remember back, my son is in third grade, has music with Mrs. Burke, and she teaches every good band does fine. As you can see up here, there's a couple sentences. Every good boy does fine, and then every good boy deserves fudge. And those are for the 5 lines. As you can see, the 5 lines right here in the music. So if you see a note on the first line, whether it's an open note, looks like an egg, or it's a closed note that's here with a stem, it's always going to be an E because of this. This is called the treble clef right here. And if the note is on the second line, it will be G. If the note's on the third line, B, fourth line, D, and fifth line, F. So if you see a note on the fourth line, I always count up every good boy does, or every good band does, and I know it's a D, okay? For those of you trying to read a lot of notes at once, this is only going to help you get the notes in the beginning. It's not really going to help you read all the notes, okay? And for the notes in the space, those letters rhyme with, yes, you guessed it, face. So let's go down here. Notes in the space, spell face, okay? So F-A-C-E. They're not the same as the notes up top for every good band does fine, but F-A-C-E, okay, that's an easy way to remember that they rhyme with space. So when you take this Kahoot today, they're going to be asking you what note is on the first line, what note is in the first space. Be careful that you're reading line or space. That's going to be a big difference, okay? And that's pretty much what most of the Kahoot is about. Now, if you read bass clef, or if I said in the future you'll need to read bass clef, or if you're somebody who knows how to read treble clef and you just want a challenge, you could always do the bass clef version. Bass clef is good boys do fine always, or you could think of it like Mrs. Burke says, good bands do fine always. Okay, if you notice, the notes from the treble clef, the G, B, D, and F, are actually just moved down a spot. So when I learned to read bass clef, I remembered this was a G, and I took it down to here. I said, oh, that's the G, okay? So I learned it a different way. I didn't think of good boys do fine always, but that's an easy way to get through this, okay? And down here for the spaces, doesn't rhyme with face, but all cows eat grass. Now, you wouldn't have to say all cows eat grass. It could be any 4 words that start with those letters, okay? Now, I didn't just want to show you to go over the basics. I also wanted to give you a little insight to a game. Now, anybody who's used the iPads before probably remembers the game Staff Wars. I'm going to try to play this on a few different ways, okay? So I went back to Google and I searched up Staff Wars, and you're looking for something that says the music interactive, and it says get Adobe Flash Player. You'll notice I'll pull this up, and this is probably what it's going to look like on a Chromebook because I'm using Chrome. It says not secure. So if you click up where it says not secure, it says flash, change that to allow. Okay, and then you're going to reload this page, and then you just click that to run. Right, that totally didn't. Oh, here it comes. And now it will work. Okay, so here's Staff Wars. Most of you would use treble clef. Some of you might need to use bass clef, okay? But, it's a little bit hard to see. Down here, it has a little spot that says range. Let me make this a little bit smaller. It says range original. Keep clicking that until you have 5 notes on top of each other. Those are the notes on the lines. And if you hit over here on treble clef, you'll see only those 5 notes will get chosen. And you know this is the first one, so every good band does fine. You know it's an E, every good band, and every good. Okay, so that's kind of an example. If you get 3 wrong in a row, game is over. Okay? After you try, if you don't want to do treble clef and you want to do bass clef, you can also use that on Staff Wars. We're still going to use the notes on the lines, okay? And we're going to go to bass clef. Then you pop in here, and you would just hit start. And remember, instead of every good band does fine, this is good boys do fine always. So good boys do, good boys do. All right, and then so on, so on, so on, okay? And if you wanted to, on either treble or bass clef, you can go with the notes on the spaces. You would just click the range until you just see 4 notes on top of each other. If you're already really good, you can challenge yourself and go to all the different ranges here. But the 5 notes or the 4 notes, that's what I suggest. If you do the range at the top to bottom right here, that's the notes on the lines and the spaces for a challenge, okay? Now let's say you want to use Internet Explorer will not work, but if you want to use Microsoft Edge, I suggest you just find it in, remember how we found it in Chrome? We typed Staff Wars, and we found this, what did we find? Oh, Staff Wars desktop game? No. Was that it? I'm not being very helpful now, am I? No, that's not it. Sorry. Oh, this one, Staff Wars, the Music Interactive. You can either type this in, okay, in Chrome or Microsoft Edge, or if you go to Microsoft Edge from here, you can copy this in, and it will give you an option, select for Adobe Flash. You just click it, and it will just say allow once, and then it will work on here too, okay? If for some reason Staff Wars will not work at all, you can always go to a website called musicracer.com. I'll quickly show you how to use that. Let me just shut this down so it doesn't keep making that stupid noise in the background. Okay. Back on Microsoft Edge. All right. Pick your game. We want to do note names. And then you can pick your instrument. Let's just pick clarinet. And then you just use it over here, begin. Okay. Now this won't be exactly notes, lines, and spaces, but for those of you who play an instrument, these would be notes you use so often, okay? And if you get all 8 right, it lets you go to level 2, which will be harder notes, okay? So as you can see, I'm blowing through this, and boom, congratulations. Yes, level B. Okay, so congratulations to me. All right, so that's pretty much it. At the end of the Kahoot, it's going to ask you for the correct spelling of rhythm. So just know the correct spelling of rhythm or look it up now so you have it right. All right. If you do want to challenge yourself, try treble clef and bass clef Kahoots. Remember, tomorrow's Kahoot will be on rhythm. So thank you for watching and have a great day.